Hello everyone. Welcome to your biology class. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of the digestive system, specifically focusing on the incredible role of enzyme functions in digestion. Ever wondered how that delicious meal turns into energy? Enzymes are the unsung heroes. We'll explore this topic across 4 levels: easy, medium, hard, and hardest, making sure you grasp every detail. Let's get started on this exciting journey. Ready to uncover the basics of how your body breaks down food? Let's begin with the easy level and learn about these tiny but mighty helpers. On this slide, we are defining enzymes. Think of them as tiny biological tools made of protein that speed up chemical reactions in your body. They're like catalysts, making things happen faster without being used up themselves. In digestion, their main job is to break down big food molecules into smaller ones. Remember, each enzyme usually has a very specific task, acting on only one type of food. For instance, one enzyme handles carbohydrates, while another targets proteins. This specificity is key to efficient digestion. Continuing our easy journey, we see where digestion truly kicks off with enzymes. In your mouth, your saliva contains salivary amylase, which immediately starts breaking down complex carbohydrates like starch. Ever noticed how bread tastes slightly sweet if you chew it for long? That's amylase at work. Then, in your stomach, another powerful enzyme called pepsin takes over. Pepsin begins the digestion of proteins, working optimally in the stomach's highly acidic environment. These initial steps are crucial for preparing food for further breakdown and absorption. Time to test your understanding with a few practice questions. Take a moment to think about these. First, what is the main function of enzymes in digestion? Second, can you name one enzyme found in saliva and tell us what type of food molecule it digests? And finally, why is it essential for food to be broken down into smaller molecules before your body can absorb them? Pause, reflect, and check your answers. Now that we've covered the basics, let's step up to the medium level. We'll delve deeper into how these enzymes specifically do their jobs and where exactly they act. At the medium level, we introduce the lock and key model to explain enzyme specificity. Imagine an enzyme as a lock, with a uniquely shaped active site. Only a specific key, which is the substrate, the food molecule the enzyme acts upon, can fit into this lock. Once the substrate binds, the enzyme performs its action, breaking it down into products, and then releases them, ready for the next molecule. This precise fit is what makes enzymes incredibly efficient, speeding up reactions by millions of times under normal body conditions. Moving on, let's identify some key digestive enzymes and their specific workplaces. Salivary amylase in your mouth handles starch. In the stomach, pepsin targets proteins, thriving in acidic conditions. As food moves to the small intestine, the pancreas contributes pancreatic amylase for starch, trypsin for proteins, and lipase for fats. The small intestine itself produces brush border enzymes like maltase, sucrase, and lactase to break down sugars, and peptidases to finish protein digestion into individual amino acids. Each enzyme has a vital role in this digestive relay. Understanding the optimal conditions for enzymes is crucial. Human digestive enzymes are designed to work best around a normal body temperature of 37 degrees Celsius. If the temperature gets too high, the enzyme's delicate 3D shape can be permanently damaged, a process called denaturation, making it useless. Similarly, pH levels are critical. Pepsin, for example, requires a highly acidic environment in the stomach, while most enzymes in the small intestine, like trypsin, need an alkaline pH to function correctly. These conditions ensure maximum efficiency. Here are some practice questions for the medium level. Think about these. Can you describe the lock and key model in the context of an enzyme and its substrate? Name two enzymes that digest carbohydrates and state their sites of action. What is the primary role of pepsin, and why is the stomach's pH important for its function? Explain why lipase is crucial for fat digestion and where it primarily acts. Finally, what happens to an enzyme if it is exposed to a temperature significantly higher than 37 degrees Celsius? Take your time to answer these questions. Alright, let's elevate our understanding. The hard level will explore the intricate details of enzyme mechanisms, regulation, and their coordinated action. At the hard level, we refine our understanding of enzyme action with the induced fit model. Unlike a rigid lock and key, this model suggests the enzyme's active site slightly changes shape upon substrate binding, creating an even tighter, more effective fit. This flexibility optimizes the catalytic process. Remember, enzymes accelerate reactions by significantly lowering the activation energy, the energy barrier required for a reaction to start. They are biological shortcuts, making complex breakdowns possible at body temperature without altering the reaction's overall energy or equilibrium. Enzyme activity is highly sensitive to environmental factors. Temperature is critical. While optimal at 37 degrees Celsius, low temperatures merely slow activity, but high temperatures cause irreversible denaturation, destroying the enzyme's structure. Similarly, pH is vital. Each enzyme has an optimal pH range. Extreme pH values alter the charges within the enzyme, leading to denaturation. Substrate and enzyme concentrations also play a role. Increasing either generally boosts reaction rate until saturation or resource limitation is reached, highlighting the dynamic nature of enzyme kinetics. Digestion is a symphony of coordinated enzyme action from various glands. Salivary glands provide amylase. The stomach's gastric glands release pepsinogen and HCl, with HCl activating pepsin for protein breakdown. The pancreas is a powerhouse, secreting pancreatic amylase, trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, and lipase into the small intestine. Finally, the intestinal glands produce peptidases and disaccharidases like maltase, sucrase, and lactase. This sequential breakdown ensures that complex food molecules are fully processed into absorbable units, ready for uptake by the body. It's time for the hard-level practice questions. Think critically. What's the key difference between the lock and key and induced fit models? How do extreme pH levels affect enzymes? What's the dual role of HCl in stomach protein digestion? List the major pancreatic enzymes and their substrates. Illustrate sequential digestion with starch. What happens if pancreatic lipase is reduced? And how does increasing enzyme concentration affect reaction rate with constant substrate? Challenge yourself with these. Prepare to dive into the deepest insights of enzyme function. The hardest level will uncover competitive depth, engineering principles, and clinical significance. This is where you connect theories to real-world applications. At the hardest level, we explore enzyme regulation, starting with zymogens. These are inactive precursors, like pepsinogen and trypsinogen, secreted to prevent self-digestion of the producing organs. They're activated only at their target site by specific cleavage, for instance, pepsinogen by HCl. We also delve into cofactors and coenzymes, non-protein helpers essential for many enzymes. Cofactors can be inorganic ions, while coenzymes are organic molecules, often derived from vitamins, that assist in catalysis, forming a complete, active holoenzyme with the protein apenzyme. Let's meticulously trace macronutrient digestion. Carbohydrates begin with salivary amylase, continue with pancreatic amylase in the small intestine, and are finalized by brush border disaccharidases into monosaccharides. Proteins start in the stomach with pepsin, continue with pancreatic proteases like trypsin and chymotrypsin, and end with brush border peptidases yielding amino acids. Fats, largely undigested until the small intestine, are first emulsified by bile salts, then broken down by pancreatic lipase into fatty acids and monoglycerides. This precise, multi-step process ensures maximum nutrient extraction. Understanding enzyme function has significant clinical relevance. Consider enzyme deficiencies. Lactose intolerance, a common condition, results from insufficient lactase. Pancreatic insufficiency, often seen in cystic fibrosis, leads to malabsorption due to a lack of crucial pancreatic enzymes. Digestive enzymes are also vital diagnostic markers. Elevated levels of amylase or lipase in the blood can indicate pancreatitis. Furthermore, enzyme replacement therapy, such as oral pancreatic enzyme supplements, is a life-changing treatment for many patients, highlighting the direct impact of these biological catalysts on human health and well-being. From an engineering perspective, digestive enzymes inspire industrial applications. Techniques like enzyme immobilization, where enzymes are fixed to an insoluble support, offer remarkable advantages: enhanced stability, reusability, and easier product separation. This allows for continuous, efficient processes in bioreactors. Imagine industrial bioreactors mimicking our digestive system, breaking down complex molecules in food processing or pharmaceutical production. This fusion of biology and engineering demonstrates how fundamental biological principles can be harnessed for innovative technological solutions, impacting various sectors globally. Now for the first set of challenging questions, testing your deepest understanding. Explain zymogen activation and its physiological advantage. Differentiate between cofactors, coenzymes, and prosthetic groups, giving an example of a coenzyme. Describe the complete protein digestion pathway, detailing enzymes, sites, and bonds. How do bile salts aid fat digestion, and what's pancreatic lipase's specific role? Lastly, what enzyme deficiency is likely if a patient has discomfort after dairy, and why? Take your time to formulate comprehensive answers. Here's the second set of toughest questions to push your analytical skills. Elaborate on the induced fit model and its catalytic efficiency. What are the consequences if entropeptidase is non-functional? Outline the advantages of immobilized enzymes in industry. Trace starch digestion and absorption, listing all enzymes and intermediate products. Finally, why are elevated serum amylase and lipase levels diagnostically significant, and what condition do they often indicate? These questions require detailed, integrated knowledge. You've journeyed through the intricate world of enzyme functions in digestion, from basic concepts to advanced applications. This topic is fundamental to understanding how our bodies derive energy and nutrients from food. To continue your learning, explore more fascinating subjects, and master your biology concepts, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting educational content. Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep questioning.